Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be looking at Typhoon Wutip now, and this is the fourth update on this system, and at the moment it's currently intensifying. It looks like it could become a Cat 3 or Cat 4 Typhoon, and I'm going to show you in the latest model runs for the track of it, but it definitely looks like it might just miss Guam, but it could just suddenly via east, or I think the CTCX is still showing it going west towards the Philippines, so it's still all to play for. But if you're in the Philippines, it's worth keeping an eye on it, I guess. But it looks very unlikely at the moment because the majority of them, the HWRF and the HMON and the JFS, is all going for it towards Guam. So as you can see with the GFS as we're going to Saturday, it's getting really close to Guam. So here's Guam around here, and it's just on the outskirts of the typhoon, and I think Guam could probably see either some very strong tropical storm force winds, or maybe even potentially typhoon conditions. Typhoon conditions, I would give it probably a 60%, 70% chance, but I would say tropical storm force winds is most likely, just because it's not making a close enough impact. But regardless, there's going to be very high swells, high tides, and floods and potential storm surge because of it being so powerful. And if it's especially on the outskirts, the winds will be blowing it in towards the islands. Because if it just hits Guam dead on, it won't really get as much surge as it would if it missed. But even if it hit, once it passes, it will get the surge then. But if it misses, there'll be more surge because it's continuous winds blowing in off the sea, and then that's continuous surge. But anyways, it's gonna go towards the north of the Mariana Islands, and then northeast towards the northern tip of the Mariana Islands, and then it's gonna exit out, and here comes the low digging trough, and there's Typhoon Wutip going towards the trough, and then it's veering northeast, and then it just dissipates. So that's the GFS. What does the ECM show? So the ECM is going for it to intensify. Yep, it's intensifying, and it's missing Guam again. It looks like it's more west of Guam than the GFS is showing, but I would still say on the ECM it's showing some moderate to high tropical storm force winds. On this, probably 20% chance of typhoon conditions, but it could still happen. And this one, interestingly, it doesn't get picked up by the trough, and then it looks like it's just going to dissipate over Guam and then via west towards the Philippines. Right, let's look at the HWRF now, and the reason why I say it's P, it's basically it's the same as the HWRF. It's the exact same model, but it's more zoomed out. So here's the zoomed out version, but when I go to the normal version, it's more zoomed in. So I'm gonna go on the more zoomed out version, so you can see the surroundings of what it's showing. So obviously here's the oh, hang on, sorry guys. Here's the Mariana Islands right here. That's Guam right there, the southern island. So with this one, it looks like it's going more towards Guam. The most runs, and with this one it's showing typhoon conditions, yeah, indicating the purple. That would probably, I would say with this one, it probably is well, with all the models combined, I would say, yeah, probably a 50 to 60% chance. And then it goes to north of the Mariana Islands, and then it via east, just like the GFS, and then it's doing exactly the same thing as the GFS is doing, because the low dig and trough is picking it up and then exiting out. Right, if we look at the sea surface temperature anomaly, so this gives an indication of what the temperature of the ocean is like around the typhoon. And remember, if the ocean's below 26 degrees, it can't support typhoon or hurricane development. If it's above that, it's more than conducive enough for the development. So the Western Pacific is showing for the Mariana Islands right here, 27 degrees, hints of 28 here and there, but for the Mariana Islands it's between 27.5 degrees, which is more than enough to support typhoon conditions. And I was looking at the wind shear like maps before. I can't get it up for some reason in a minute, but the wind shear map is between low to moderate, and it looks like it's going to dip in the next a few hours. So this could give it even more chance to develop. So here's Wutip on the satellite imagery on the floater charts. As you can see, if it loads. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, it's looking pretty good at the moment in that it probably supports Typhoon status. It's got a very nice spiral band going around it towards the western side of the Typhoon, and like there's good convection, especially in the center. So at the moment, I would definitely agree with the Category 1 status, but I would have thought it would have intensified it more by now. And if we go on to the forecast track, it's definitely forecasting Cat 3. I can even see it becoming more. And then also like with the data here, you can check what the sea surface temperature and anomalies are. So below Wutip, yeah, you can see 30 degrees. So it's just come out of the 29 to 30 degree now, and it's going into the 29s, and then there's the 28s in the east. And that's that for Wutip, and I could even show you Omar. So Omar's looking very unhealthy at the moment. It's lost its core. It's got barely any convection in the center. So it's not really worth going into it. But it's just to mention it's like it's still around, and it's like disappearing at the moment. So there's nothing really much to say about it. And if you look at the forecast chart, it's it's like expected to probably stay around the same intensity, and then curve back. So, but you might see like more of it in the next like few days, but nothing really much to say about it really. So yeah guys, that's the update on Wutip. So yeah, it's definitely intensifying. If you're on Guam and the Mariana Islands, definitely get your preparations done. Because as I said, it could easily like via east, and it could easily just make a direct impact on Guam. And actually, quick before I go, I will show you the track of like what they're saying for Wutip on the GFS track ensembles. You can definitely see there's at least one or two going extremely close to Guam, enough to do damage, enough for typhoon conditions, at least a Cat 1 or Cat 2 conditions. So as I said, there's still uncertainty, and as you can see here, the GM and like the nav GM and then the GFS, there's still a bit of split, but like before it gets to Guam, there's still split. So it could easily change. It could easily change more to east, and also it could get really close. So as I said, guys, if you're in the Guam area, be extremely careful and just keep an eye on the forecast, and see the GPS tracks. There's some of them going towards the Philippines, and as I said, if you're in the Philippines, it's worth keeping an eye on it. But it's looking unlikely at the moment. But like it's just showing it's still a possibility. So if you're in like the Philippines, just keep an eye on it, and like we should probably know more in the next few days if it's going to go towards the Philippines or towards the northeast. But it's looking most likely towards the northeast. I'll probably give it a 90% chance for it to go northeast than for it to miss the Philippines altogether. And if you look at the intensity charts, yeah, like some of them are going to, it's definitely going towards 105 knots. It probably could go some stronger than that. I think if you just go back to Mankut, it was like showing it to get to 120 knots, and then it ended up going well above 140 knots. So it could easily change. It could easily go up to 110, 120 knots. So it could easily change. And here's the corner of uncertainty here. Highlighted in these dotted lines, and the whole of the Mariana Islands is in that corner of uncertainty. So as I said, Guam, you are not out of the woods whatsoever. It could easily via east, and I don't want to like scare any of you in Guam, or I don't want to like spout out any like misinformation, but it's what it's showing. It's showing you're in the corner of uncertainty, and it's there. It's like showing it could still make an impact. So if it doesn't hit you in like directly, you will get effects still. You will still get storm surge, as I said. You will get at least moderate to strong tropical storm force winds, maybe even typhoon force winds. You're going to get high seas, as I said. So as I said, even if it doesn't make an impact, it looks more or less certain you're going to get some storm surge off this. So as I said, guys, just keep an eye out, be safe, and it's not looking good if you're in the Mariana Island area. So I hope you enjoyed this update. Please like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed the video and update. And there's most likely going to be an update tomorrow for the UK for the next week to 10 days. It's looking interesting towards the end of the model runs it's showing. There could be some colder like weather on the way, especially for the ensembles anyway. Some of the ensembles are like showing it getting cold. So winter could be like winter could have a sting in its tail, but it's had lots of opportunities this year to do it, and it's not done it. So yeah, as I said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, turn the post notification bells on, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow.